In AV4-2, we're going to learn how to calculate the volume of a cylinder. As we're going through this, you may find that it seems really similar to something we've already learned, and that's because it is very similar to volume of a prism. Volume of the cylinder is going to equal the area of the base times the height of our cylinder. This is the exact same formula for area of a prism. The only thing that's really different here is that in our cylinder, our base is a circle. So in other words, we have volume equals pi r squared times height, where pi r squared is our base, and the area of the base is a circle. So here, example number 1, find the volume of the cylinder. We have a radius of 2 and a height of 7. We're going to start by writing on our formula. So volume is area of base times height. In our case, we have a cylinder, so we know it's pi r squared times height. We have pi, our radius is 2, so we have 2 squared times our height, which is 7. Let's do 2 squared, which is 4, times 7 pi. 4 times 7 is 28, so we have 28 pi. And that is our volume. On this next example, it says, again, find the volume of the cylinder. This time I'm given diameter. Diameter is 7, and the height is 6.5. Instead of the diameter, I do need the radius, so I'm going to take my diameter and divide it by 2. So my radius is actually 3.5 centimeters. Now we're going to find the volume, and the volume is the area of the base times the height of the object. We remember that our base shape is a circle, so it's pi r squared times the height of the object. So we're going to do pi times 3.5 squared times 6.5. 3.5 squared is 12.25 times 6.5 times pi. Here we have 79.625 pi. You should notice in both these examples we've left our answer in terms of pi. I've never hit the pi button on my calculator. I haven't used the approximation of 3.14. You want to always leave your answer in terms of pi unless you are specifically told to estimate or to not leave it in terms of pi. We can also use the same formula to find the area of the volume of an oblique cylinder. It is still the area of the base times the height of the object. Area being a circle is pi r squared times the height of our object. The only thing that's going to be different here is that you're going to see the height potentially on the outside because our height has to be perpendicular to the base, or you may see it drawn in here. The big thing to look for is that right angle to show that it's perpendicular to the base. Find the volume of this cylinder. So as I look at this, I need to remember the formula, which is area of the base times the height, pi r squared times the height. As I look at what I have, I can see that I have my radius. I need to find my height because that is that dimension here. I'm going to call it x. I can see that I have a right triangle here, so I am going to use Pythagorean theorem to find x. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. I know 5. I don't know b. We'll call that. That's what we're trying to find, the x. And then c is 13, so 13 squared. 25 plus b squared equals 169. I have b squared equals 144. So when I square root, I get b equals 12. That means that our height is 12. Now I have enough information to substitute into my formula. Pi times my radius of 4 squared times my height of 12. 4 squared is 16. I'll multiply that by 12 and then leave it in terms of pi. 192 pi is our volume. Find the volume of this cylinder. Notice this almost looks like a cake with a slice taken out. And so we don't want that slice, that piece that's taken out. And I can see here that 60 degrees was taken out. what we have left and what we want is that 300 degrees. So you're actually going to use the same idea as when we were looking at a sector and we were thinking about it as a piece of pizza, that slice taken out. We want to figure out what part we do have. So we are going to take 300 out of 360 total degrees because that's what we want. This is going to give us the section of this cylinder that we want. And then we're going to multiply it by pi r squared times the height because that's going to give us the volume. So 300 out of 360 times pi. My radius is 7. My height is 13. So 7 squared times 13. And I can go ahead and do some multiplying and simplify this out. So I can tell right away with 300 over 360, the zeros cancel. 30 out of 36, I can reduce that down to 5/6 times 7 squared, which is 49, times 13 times pi. As I look, there are no common factors, so I can put this into my calculator, and I get about 530.83 pi. If you wanted to leave it as a fraction, that is totally fine as well.